Meeting is in listen-only mode, and only meeting presenters can be heard.
Books out a week, and that produced for me a full-time income. That allowed me to then progress on and build the sponsoring and the team building up. So, do the retail to the level that you want to. Nobody's saying you've got to do massive retail or very small retail. It's completely up to you. The situation you're in and the income you need is completely in your control. Now, I'm going to try and get through this in about 20 to 30 minutes. And I know there's a lot of people now making faces because they know how much I talk. So I'll try and get through it, but there's a lot of new people there and there's a lot of information to get across. And I think, you know, obviously uplines are there to help people, but these meetings are aimed at giving tips and hints for everybody, okay? So getting started, a basic retail business. Retailing and building a customer base is a very, very simple process. And our catalogues now are fantastic. Compared to what we had when we first started, Andy Cooper is probably the oldest campaigner on here. I'm not sure if there's anybody been in the business longer than him, so you can probably remember when there was one little catalogue with 5 or 6 products. That's what he'll tell you. Anyway, our product range has gone through the roof now. Obviously, with K-Life, it's just going on from strength to strength. So everything's there for you to make money. Every box of catalogues that you get, that you buy from the company, you're investing into your business. You're investing into a business that will pay you back thousands of times. The amount of money you spend on catalogues, you're going to be earning so much more from those catalogues. Every time you buy a box of catalogues, it will make you a lot more money. So there's different ways of starting retailing with catalogues. You can knock doors, you can just blanket top. What you're doing, you're working towards a customer base. So just remember, because this is something that I think, you know, people tend to forget as they go along. Everybody comes in with, you know, big aspirations and excitement, and then you get a few bad pickups and you think, oh, man, does this really work? What you're doing at the moment is building a business. Coming out of, as I was, working for our people for most of my working life, I was a regional manager in financial services, and I had the trappings of being a home-based regional manager. But I was working for somebody else. I was working for somebody else's plan, and I knew that that income was coming in whether I was doing half a day or a full day. With this business, put in as much as you can early days. Put in the time and effort. Build your customer base, and it is a gold mine. In time, what you're looking for is just to deliver to regular customers every 4 to 5 weeks, and aim to achieve about 5 to 6, 7, 8 pounds per catalogue when you're dropping. Now I'm going to tell you a bit later on about, you know, the averages that I can get now and the averages that we can all get in this business. And a lot of people on this meeting tonight have got higher averages than this. If you can get that sort of average, so you've got 20 customers a week over a 10-week period, you're going to have 200 customers to deliver. 50 customers a week would then produce £1,000 in orders every 4 weeks. Now that's just obviously then producing the 10% level. The 10% level in our business is a very, very important part of what we do. Because if you can build up these building blocks of yourself and other people in your business doing 10% and build the team up that way, you will have a very strong business. And that's what you're looking for. 20 new customers a week over 10 weeks. Okay, you have a customer base of about 200 people. Deliver 50 catalogues a week, £1,000 in orders, and you're on the 10% level. So you're in the first volume profit level. Now, if that's a new concept to you, the volume profit, and you're sat on this meeting tonight thinking what that is, we're going to go through that as well. I'm going to touch on that as well to explain it. So the basics of our business is work towards that customer base. So those tips that are on that screen now, be consistent with drops and pickups, keep good records, give good service, sort problems out as quick as you can. That's a strong point of our business, that we can give face-to-face returns and deal with issues straight away. Value your customers, okay, and use their names whenever possible. That may not be an important part of what some people think. I do. I think it's a strong part of it. I wanted to get that customer's name the minute I walked up that path, because people react to that a lot better if you call them by their name rather than, oh, hello, how are you? And you don't know anything about them. Okay. Keep topping up with new customers all the time. You build your business up to whatever level you want, but, you know, even with a regular customer base, you're going to lose people along the way. for different reasons. Sometimes they're out of your control completely, so you've got to just top up every now and again, keep the customer base going, and be the best distributor in your area. John Dunkley said that to me when I first started, and it has been proven time and time again, because you will come up against competition. So if you make yourself the best distributor in that area, you'll outbeat the competition. And that's what I did in my area. There was 4 or 5 other distributors all working around the same area that I started my business. And I bumped into a distributor the very first day I went picking up books, and I had a chat to him, and basically he said, look, Andy, when you find these customers, he said, sometimes they're hard to find, but once you get them, they're very loyal to you. So just give them a good service, and that's what I tried to do. And I got people still buying from me 14 years down the road, so I can't be doing too much wrong. So with the very basic, again, I'm sure that you've had an upload show you, and I'm sure you've been on our FTG training site. If you haven't, you're going to get the web address later, but the FTG training site, all this information is on that FTG training site, okay? And it's very basic stuff. If John hadn't have told me at the start, I might put my catalogues in all different ways. But make your catalogues up the same way. Include an order form, put your address on it. I always, and as always, the order form folded in half so that the catalogue shows more. You can see more of the catalogue. If you've got an order form right in the front and it's covering everything, it's just like a little bit like slapping the order form, you've got to order. But you're also covering half of, the product range that they can see, because that front cover attracts a lot of buyers. Have a day slip in there, obviously, to tell the customer when you're coming back, which will encompass a wanted flyer as well. Those wanted flyers are still being filled out right up until the day. Somebody in the team said to me today they've had another one filled out and they're going for a meeting. Use clean snappy bags and replace them regularly. Okay? These catalogue snappy bags, cat bags, whatever you want to put them, they only cost pennies, and don't scrimp on them, because if you keep your catalogues looking the best, you've got a much better chance of people ordering from you. And I can liken this to walking up a high street. If I walk, and this could be me just being a little bit finicky, if I walk up towards a shop and it looks nasty from the outside, I'm not going to go in it. So if you chuck a book for a door and the catalogue's all ripped and torn and dirty, and you've got milk bottle stains on there and whatever stuck on there, on those bags, people aren't going to open them. They're going to pick them up between their 2 little fingers and chuck them straight back out or in the bin. So remember that those catalogue packs are your shop window. Okay? People are going to look in them, but if you've got dirty catalogue packs, people won't be looking in there. They'll give it a miss. And what they will do then is go to another distributor. So, as I started saying at the very start of this is basic things that we're talking about. But those basic things are, the foundations of how our business grows. What we've got here is day slips and notes for putting in with your catalogue. So again, on the FTG training site, you've got everything. You've got access to all of these templates to use. These are the most important ones we use. Top left-hand corner, obviously the day slip, the day you're going to go back. So you drop a catalogue, and a couple of days later, I'm going to come back and pick that book up on that day. The strongest thing I can tell you about that is pick it up when you say you're going to. If you leave catalogues, let's say there's a bit of wind and rain out, and you're due to go back out to your catalogues, and you're thinking, it's nice and warm in here, I don't think I'll bother today. Customers will quickly pick up on that, and they'll think, well, he's left his catalogue here, it can't be that important to him. And the next day, it'll go in the bin. So make sure you go back on the day. You've got a polite reminder slip there. Again, there's variations out there. Mine's slightly different than that, but if you use these, they work. Polite reminder just to say, I'm going to come back on a certain day. Sorry, I'm coming back tomorrow or later on today to pick this catalogue up. I always used a reminder slip that said I'm coming back that evening. So I went back that evening, and if the catalogue's not out again, I knock the door. So there's another tip for you. A lot of people just rely on the slips. Don't rely just on the slips. They work very, very well. If you go back after you put a reminder through the door and the book's still not out, still either looking at it, or they might even have an order. Some people leave the book inside the door with an order on it, waiting for us to knock the door, because that's what they like to do. So, go back. If the book's still not out, then knock their door. Thanks for your order. Next they take a little bit longer. Some other teams don't use them, but they haven't got strong retail businesses like we've got. Thank you for your order. If you go in Asda, the girl on the checkout or the boy on the checkout might manage to say, hello, or thanks, bye, do you need it up with your bags? They might do that because they're not very happy. And a lot of them talk to you in that tone. But basically, we put these little slips through. Asda, Tesco, and people like that, they don't give you a little slip saying, oh, thanks for your order. I'm going to deliver within a certain time scale. And by the way, your order is going to cost this much as a reminder. But it's all underpinning your service to that customer. So if you make yourself a bit different than other distributors by using these little slips, then basically you're going to make yourself a better distributor and people will remember you. And then remember those little things that you put through the door. It also helps when you're coming to deliver because they'll have the money ready for you. And then we've got the small slip on the right hand side. You put it in with an order and just saying thanks for the order. Hope you're okay with it. Any problems, let me know, but I'll be back again in 4 to 6 weeks to drop another book to you. So again, you're underlining this whole service that you're giving to people, which is a free service when all said and done. So before you even go out, let's start with the very basics. Before you even start dropping doors, think to yourself, okay, who do you know works in a shop or works in a school, goes to work with you or family members or next door neighbours, family, neighbours. There's a lady who's joined our business, and she got her first order, £150, just by giving them to her family and friends. And now some of her family are interested in maybe joining the business. Just off the back of her, making sure they got a catalogue to have a look at. They've placed orders, she's got her first order in, and now she's got 53 catalogues coming to her. So it's definitely worth giving these catalogues out to people. This is the first place to start, and friends and family will want to help you start building your business. I've seen this evening, some people are already well on their way for building a good business. Some of the orders that some people have been putting up there, yeah, really good, really good. So they must be doing some of these activities. Leave the catalogues, okay, try and entice people. You leave a few order forms because some people will fill them out and they'll be looking for another order form. Okay, why not grab a map or go on Google Maps and just think about where you're going to go first. I literally still say to people, go out your front door, turn left or turn right, because that's how I was shown, that's what I was told. Turn left or turn right and start putting your books out. That's the old rule of thumb. Okay, you've got Google Maps now. You've got a map book. You can go and colour them in, print them off, photocopy them, have different colour codes for different areas. That's absolutely fine. It's how much work you want to put into it. I literally went out with my sheet, and that was sheet of paper. I went out with my sheet and a pencil and basically started recording everything I was doing. Now, that was a little hidden tip there. I know this is going to sound a bit daft, but John said to me, use a pencil, not a pen. Well, I soon found out why that was, because if you try to go out in some of our wading weather, you've got a piece of paper and you've got a pen, the pen will go straight through the piece of paper. The ink will not come out on the paper, but if it does, it'll run and spill everywhere. Use a pencil, torrential rain, and I'm not exaggerating, torrential rain on an evening with a torch, and I use a pencil. Even if the lead doesn't come out on the paper, it actually makes a mark on the paper without breaking it. And when you get home, once it dries out, you can make out what you wrote down. So look, there's different ways of recording. Technology now that you can use. You can even use your phone to record things, obviously. But pieces of paper and pencil still work. Don't forget the basics of how you get things done. So work locally, because people like to buy from local people. Leave the catalogues for 2 to 3 days. Some days we've done a one-day turnaround. If you're going for certain levels, which it will become apparent as you get more into our business, you'll understand it a bit more. Okay? A one-day one-day pickup drop will be effective to help you get over certain bonus levels. And over the weekend's a great time. A Friday to Monday drop usually brings in a little bit more than a midweek drop. Only not all the time, but usually it does. If you come across another catalogue, don't assume the whole world's there. We've done this before, and Gerard Costa on this meeting this evening can probably remember when he started, because he told me where he wanted to start. I said, yeah, okay, let's meet there. And I pulled up, and he was pulling up behind me, and this is now Gerard looking for a full-time income. We had, I think it was 500 catalogues in his car ready to go. And when we pulled up, there was 1 or 2 catalogues on near enough every door outside the car. And I got out and I thought to myself, oh God, here we go. Anyway, I said to Gerard, let's go. We probably went about 500 metres, 1,000 metres across the other side of the main road. We started there, and Gerard's been in the business, what is it, 13 years plus, Gerard. And he's a gold senior distributor. And when he started, we had catalogues led everywhere. But we just moved along a little bit further and off we went, and we did very, very well. Very well. Keep good records is a massive part of what we're doing. I'm going to show you some record keeping in a minute. And record keeping is very, very important. It is your Bible of what your customers are doing with your business, with your catalogs. And it will become the way you can market your business better. Yeah? You won't be wasting time on people if you follow the systems we show you. And obviously, keep a smile on your face. Nobody wants to see you walking up the path with a miserable look on your face, or if you're going to deliver, it's like, oh yeah, most of our customers want to tell us all about their bad stuff going on, all their illnesses, all the things that have broken in their house, all the money they have to pay on their bills, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, we've all got that in our lives, but try not to share it with other people too much, because it'll become a pity party, and basically that's all it'll be when you go there. Just have a smile on your face. Usually then, when somebody sees you smiling, they'll smile back at you. This is a little thing about properties to be mindful of. Okay, we don't prejudge too many places, but we are aware over the years, we've learned certain things, you've got to be watchful for. Properties with multiple doorbells. They're an issue. They can always be an issue. You might have some customers in some of these blocks. I don't have too many now. High-rise blocks are different. But these with masonettes and loads of, like one front door and about 30 doorbells on, you're going to have problems getting your catalogues back. And you're also going to have problems knowing who's put the catalogue back out. Houses with sold boards, yeah, okay, look, it could be that the person's just moving out and the new one's moving in. So play that one by how you feel. But if you see a sold sign, have a look at the windows, check if the curtains are drawn, see if there's a lot of posts inside the front door, because it might be an empty property. Student flats are, I would say, are pretty much a no-no. Unless you're a student listening in tonight and you're living in one of those student flats, carry on. But if you've got a lot of student flats, students don't tend to buy too much of our product range. You might lose a few catalogues, that's all we're saying. So be wary of that. Coronation Street style houses, rows and rows and rows of front doors with no gardens, no problem, put catalogues to the door, but mark one of the catalogues for either side, which door you're putting them in, left or right. Just colour code it or number it, because when they put those catalogues back out, they generally put them back out together on top of each other, and you don't know who's looking. If you've got an order, that's fine, but if you haven't, and there's people looking or not looking, that's hard to record. Okay? We do not buy or sell at the door signs. Well, I can tell you, and lots of people on this meeting in your upload will probably tell you as well, I used to keep away from these quite a bit, but we don't anymore, because a lot of these people, that could have been a sign that's been put on the door from a previous owner, and they're talking about circulars and bits of paper, flyers and things like that. Unless it specifically says, don't put your Clean Easy catalogue on through this door, Avon catalogue, I generally put a catalogue for it. Let them decide. I generally find that a lot of those signs, I got some of my best customers got those signs on their door. Funny, that's how it works. So when you're collecting your catalogues, dress a little bit smarter. Nobody's saying go out in a dinner suit. You don't want to go down there in a nice frock. But smarter than like alls in your jeans and things like that. And I know that's the trend now, but I try not to. Not too many of our customer base, walk around with ripped jeans. Have a smile again. There's a smile again. Back again. Leave a thank you for your order slip. It might take you another couple of seconds to write that little slip out or put it through the door, but it will make a difference. It will make a difference between you maybe getting another order. Leave a polite reminder and always knock the door. There you go again. Knock the door if the book's not left out. Now, don't worry about people coming to the door with a catalogue and saying, look, I don't want your catalogue, don't come back to my door, because if they do, that's fine. Put one of them yellow smiles on your face. Thanks very much, and you'll never have to see them again. there's only 2 or 3 miserable people around my area. I tend to find that they move around a little bit. But you've got most, I would say 95, 96, 97% of our customer base, when we're finding them, the people that are a little bit miserable, you don't come across that many of them. Most people are very, very polite, very nice, and they are quite happy to give you a catalogue or put it back out on time. Keeping records as you go, using a notebook as you drop your catalogues, and that's just a quick snippet there of how to keep records. You'll have a key. Use the key, okay? Put a tick for look, put a cross for not looked. Just put a little line or a CB for callback or not left out, okay? I always put NBG for not again, which means no bloody good. NBG. If they've stuck a great big note across it, don't darken my door anymore, fine, that's fine. Just put on there, no bloody good, NBG. But always put an order. If the customer's put an order out, put how much it is, and just put the name of the customer on your records, because you want their name for when you call on them again. Personalising the catalogues. Now, I know some people on this meeting tonight don't personalise catalogues. I've always done it. John showed me how to do it, and whether John does it anymore or not, I'm not really sure, but at the end of the day, that's how I've always started people off, and I continue to, because if you personalise your catalogue the next time you go back, it makes a difference between you and another distributor who might be just starting up. So if you put 2 blank catalogues through a door, the customer might not know which one it's going to order from. But if you get an order from Mrs. Smith the month before, put Mrs. Smith's name on it the month after, and it will distinguish you between other distributors. You haven't got to write across the top of the day slip, not a problem. And then you can keep the day slips for the next time you go round to do that round again. So don't throw them away, keep them, and save yourself a bit of time and money next time. Transfer these records to either. I've always used a very simple Excel spreadsheet. If your sponsor hasn't given you it yet, we can always copy it to you. If your sponsor's using something else and it works, if they're in the business and it's working for them, it clearly works. It will clearly work for you. So I've always used an Excel spreadsheet, or put it on a hardback copy when you get home. Because you know and I know the sort of winds and weather we get in the UK. You're going out with pieces of paper. If you just keep those pieces of paper all the time, they're going to be a hell of a mess after a couple of months. So have a copy that you use, a scrappy copy, that's what I want to call it, and then use a hardback or a computer copy when you get home. Because then next time you go out, if you've got it on computer, you can just highlight it and print off the round that you're going to go back out and get. Okay? Show you some more now. So, my God, that looks a bit hazy crazy, doesn't it? What I'm trying to get across to you is, I started with no names down on the left-hand side. All I had was the street and the number of the house. I started with no records at all of buying and people buying. And what you're looking at now is, all I'm trying to get the point across is, I keep records like that. I've kept records like that from day one. And in a minute, I'll highlight the sort of money you can get back for it. For putting this hard work in at the start. So that's one of the rounds that I just still doing to today. I have a record of when they've looked, which is a Y, when they haven't looked, which is a cross, an N. And I've also put on there, it says NTT, that means not this time. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. But basically, right across that screen, I can then see how much that customer spent for a 6-month period. And what that means to me is, working smarter, somewhere along the line, those people are going to come off that aren't spending enough with me. I'm going to get rid of them. Or if they're not buying from me on a regular basis, I'm going to manage that situation by the next screen. But put that bit of hard work in on that Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't take that long. Take, 10 minutes when you come home, you can have your sheet updated, you can save it, and that's it, job done. But that builds up a whole picture of who I'm keeping. Sorry, Kirsty, if you're getting problems, log out, log back in, sweetheart. Sorry. So that keeps a good record of what's happening. It's a good way of managing your business. People in other shops, people in other businesses keep spreadsheets, keep information. what their customer base is doing. If they're not, then they're not a very good business. But this gives you a picture of what's been happening. Now, what I've done on this one, just to show you on another round, if I get somebody who's not buying from me on a regular basis, let's take Ashton Drive there, a chap called Phil Morris. I've got him in red. I've got Carol in red, Mrs. Kelly in red, Mrs. Taylor in red. And what you should be able to see on there is the fact that the reason I put Phil Morris in red, he never bought for 5 months. Carol didn't buy for 5 months. Mrs. Kelly for 3 months. Mrs. Taylor. So I started to manage those people now. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm managing what I'm going to do with those customers. So what I did was I put them in red. That means they're not going to get a book for 1 month or 2 months. So I'll leave them off. When I first started, if I got customers that wouldn't buy from me for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, I would stop them, put them back on a couple of months later. So I'd mark them in red, leave them off for a couple of months, put them back on a couple of months later. If they start buying again, which a lot of them did, and this is what's funny about our business, some people, if you stop giving them a catalogue for a couple of months, they think, oh, I'm in the catalogue for a while, I'll start buying from them again. So I managed that by taking them off or leaving them out. They didn't get a book, and then a couple of months later, I put them back in, and after that, basically, if they don't buy, I take them off completely, and I go and find some other customers. Because the biggest trap we fall into is that we keep putting books through doors from, let's just say, Phil Morris. He bought, look, for the first time I put a book for his door, he bought £32. Then 2 months later, he bought £5.50. But then he didn't buy for months. And I haven't called on Phil Morris for ages now, well, years, because he won't buy from me. What's the point in putting a book for a door when people are just looking at them? I think Jane told me what she called them when she was first started the business. She said they're coffee time lookers. So basically, the book will come through, they get a cup of coffee, sit down, have a look through the book, think, oh, that was lovely, and put the book back out. And we don't want people like that. We're not making money from people like that. And again, if they weren't buying enough, what I've come to over the years, when you first start, you'll keep customers going for a long time, just buying £2, £3, £5 worth every now and then. Eventually, you'll get to customers that are spending a lot more than that regularly, and you can drop the cheaper ones, let's say, that are taking up more time, and they usually take up more time because you've got to go back to the book, and they're not having when you deliver, and things like that. So basically, managing your customer base is a big part of what we do. So just to take on to the next step, this is a customer base. Last month, I dropped this catalog to them. This is the customer base when I very first started in the business. So I've had these for 14 years. Now, looking down that list, you're thinking, there's only £259 worth of orders. That's right, it is. I just call on customers that spend money regularly with me. But that round there took me less than an hour, probably, to put those books out. And I'm serious, it would take me less than an hour to put these books out. And I know some people on there gasping, like, oh my God, don't do much retail. Well, that's the idea of the business eventually, if you get team building built up. But this is one part-time round. So I've worked it out. It took me less than an hour to put out. Let's call it an hour. An hour. Seriously, because that would not have taken much longer than that. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying it would take me an hour and a half to deliver to them. I literally walk up the path. I've got the customers order in front of me with their name. I always speak to them, ask them how they are. Generally, they're either very ill or very well. Quick bit about the weather, because we must have that discussion 20 or 30 times a day. Yes, it's cold out. Yes, it's raining. Yes, it's the UK. So anyway, get all out of the way. I say, look, see you again in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. Bye. And I'm off down the path again. Always have the money ready. So I've got some change in my hand, because I'm pretty much now, if Pat Darling spends £15, she'll give me a £15, I'll give her a £1 change, I'll be gone. So you get to like the inside out. You know them back to front. So if you take account of the hour to put them out, hour to bring them back in, that amount of books would take me 20 minutes to turn around, so I didn't even count that because I'll be having a cup of coffee. At my level in the business, that would have earned me retail profit and volume profit. The volume profit at 24% gold. The retail profit and volume profit, that would have earned me £92. That's £26.28 an hour. So going back to what I was saying near the start about get to £5 or £6, per catalogue in orders. This average here, do you know what I mean? I think that's probably not that average, but it's 16 orders on that sheet. There's only 20 customers. There's 16 orders, and that are £26.28 an hour. If I wanted to build more and more and more and more customers, I've got four customer range, sorry. If I wanted to go on and build many, many more customers, yeah, I'd be earning £26 on hundreds more customers. But I'm quite happy with that level of part-time retail because now I've got the team building built up. So hopefully that makes sense. All that hard work you put in this, I don't know, £5, £6, £7 an hour. When you get to this level, when you're doing it to this level, you can be earning £26, £27 an hour. The best income I've got, I've worked out £1 something an hour doing retail. Now you tell me, or you show me a part-time business, unless you're a footballer or a pop star, or you're moving a lot of cocaine very quickly. Sorry about that. If you're in those sorts of trades, you might be earning that sort of money. But people scoff at us and say, catalogs, I won't do catalogs, I haven't got the time for that. Well, if you're earning £25 to £30 an hour, perhaps you would be, but people don't give it that time. So give it the time and effort. This average didn't kick in 14 years, it kicked in 18 months, 2 years later. So all the first couple of years of building the foundation of my business, I started earning that sort of average money. So just bear that in mind. Hopefully that's made the point of keeping records, building up this catalogue side. I've not even added on anything for online selling. This is pure catalogues. Talking about catalogues, this is the sort of money you can earn. Is it hard? Sometimes it's not that enjoyable when the weather's not that great. But the vast majority of the time I've built my retail business, by putting a bit of extra effort into it, I've had some good times out there where if you think back some of the jobs we do and we're stuck in a humdrum, hateful job which you don't want to get out of, I've been out in lovely weather with shorts on, walking outside. Hopefully that's sort of covered that off. Let's get through this a little bit quicker now because time's moving on. I'm chatting too much. So just to reiterate a little bit about what you've already seen, probably what you've shown, you've got every bit of help and support you need in this business from us, the network. You've got everything you need on that hub to run your business. The ordering system, the support arena, information, how to join people in, send people joining links, everything you need. And then we've got this wonderful, wonderful little chat at Ask Harry, where you can put questions into it. So on that screen, Ask Harry should come up. If you want to ask a question when your upline's probably comatose between 12 o'clock at night and 6 in the morning. So basically you can put a question on there if you really want to know, and Ask Harry has probably got an answer for you. So on that hub, you've got everything you need to run your business. Now your earnings, I'm going to quickly go through this because again, uplines I'm sure will have people about this, but we earn approximately just over or just around 21 pence in the pound. That's the easy way of working it out. It's a different equation, and every invoice you get when you place an order, you'll get your retail profit. Retail profit is about 21 pence in the pound. This strong point I'm going to make now on this one, before sending the balance to Clean Easy. I've always been a strong believer in if you are in this business to make money, take your money out. Take your money out, but please do not forget to pay. Clean Easy is the important part of it, because if you haven't got your account up to date and the money paid on time, Clean Easy may put a little stop to your account. And if you get a stop to your account because you owe them money, you can't trade. You've got no way of making money. So I can't say that strong enough. Take out what you've earned, but make the rest of the money in. Paying Clean Easy, I've decided what I'm earning as my money. It all goes into Clean Easy to pay my account, so I've got an account on all the time. Any amount of orders, pounds will attract a bonus. And the bonus scale, which I'll talk you through in just a minute. So you're starting with the extra 10% of SPV, that's complicated way of doing it. The easy way is anything over £780, you earn 6% net, rising up to an extra 15% net. The 10% and the 20% of SPV, your upline will go through it, which is not a problem at all. And additional bonuses from 6 to 15% for the volume that you're producing, you and your team. So for further information, go to the FTG training site. If you haven't got this web address, there's something that is the training site. So you want www.ftgtraining.info. Okay? Go to that site and everything that I've been talking about is on there tonight. On there all the time for you to see, 24/7. You've got all the bonuses and retail profit. You can work it out. So the volume profit is £780 plus. You want a 6% bonus up to the next level, and the bonuses at the bottom go up with it. So you get to that wonderful level, fantastic place to be, because you're earning the maximum bonus on all of your turnover on that level. So remember that. Build yourself a good retail business, but build yourself a team as well. I'm not going to go into that this evening about building teams, apart from to say that will help you and them go up to higher bonuses. More money in your pocket, more money in their pocket, they stay longer. It's about building a business. Retail can be very lucrative. You can go from £500 turnover to £4,000 turnover. You can go from 103 to £1,200 plus, just for you, just for putting catalogues out. Or, as I said just now, build yourself a team, show other people how to do that, get to the £1,000 level. It's quickly to see there why you came into the business. If you come into the business for £250 to £300, you've got to be in excess of £1,000 turnover yourself, and that will earn that sort of money, £250 to £300. If you want a bit more, double your input. Go up to 2,000. The reason why most people, it's been proven time and time again, retail, part-time, £2,000 turnover is very achievable. That'll only be between £500 and £600. That's just your retail. However much other people in your team do, that will boost it up. The thing with team building is, if you find big retailers, that's great, but if you lose a big retailer, that's bad. So find a team of people that are all doing, part-time retailing on a regular basis, that they can manage, that they can produce their income, and then show them how to do it and get these building blocks. Because if you get a couple of people that are only part-time in your business and they fall away, then it's easier to replace, and it's not such a big impact on your income. The 30-day bonus is there. This seems to change every time we look at it, but I think this is right. For every order of £150 you place within your 30 days, you'll receive 50 of the latest catalogues, free, or 23 leads. 23 leads that you can train on, and also may join your business. Some of you might join your business, change your business overnight. I will say now, the company did have up until, I think it was the end of the year, might have been a little bit into January, the frequency changed days, but it's not anymore. It is a 30-day bonus. So every order of £150, you'll get 53 catalogues. Plus, on the completion, after within the first 30 days, £600, okay, 500 bonus points. Basically, you'll get an extra 50 main catalogues, K-Life catalogues, or 20. Okay? So the more orders you're doing, the more money you're making, and the more free catalogues you can get to build up, to go out and make more money. It's just a recurring thing. You also get, as I said before, I'm not going to go into this tonight, in the online shop. You can send a link to this shop to anybody, www.myteameasy.com, with your account number. And you've got an online shop and an advertising site. As you know, we tell people, when you join, all this is set up for you within 24 hours. You've got an advertising site there. It's a wonderful site. All you've got to do is the more people you join your business, and you've got access to an online shop that will show anybody all of your products. So the online shop can be quite simple. You send out a link to people will go on and order. You earn 15% of any orders placed through that online shop. If that's changed, blame Mr. Cooper, because I don't think he's... Anyway, so it's a little bit less, but you don't get your business. You can put it on Facebook link and say somebody will go on up in, I don't know, Edinburgh and buy something from you. The company will send it out direct. So what have you got to lose? Start marketing your business. Get people out. So that's just reiterating what I said. Tell everyone about your online shop. Okay? Put little notes in everything you do. Christmas cards, etc. Okay? Put it on Facebook. Put it in emails. Put it in text. But why not just tell people? Make a list of who you know. Get it out to them. Make sure they realise that you're in business. Okay? We've got a lot of products that a lot of people will want. That's the information I've said here this evening. Obviously, we said we are recording, but if you go on to the FTG training site again, then basically you can go on there and we've got the videos to show you about how you're dropping and collecting catalogs, how to delivery and returning products. So we've got little videos to help you as well. Okay, you don't have to listen to my time, you can go on and have a look at that. So what I did, I got a couple of slides just to finish off with. I asked the top retailer tonight, unless he's fell asleep or he's out watching Leeds United. Nigel Lalong over in Jersey is the top retailer in our business. He turns over between 50 and 60,000 every year. So I asked him what was his top 5 tips. Okay, you won't be surprised to hear that most of them match pretty much what I've gone through. Don't prejudge a student in absence. Sorry again if you're a student, you tend not to get our books. Just leave your books there and see what happens. You just might be very surprised. Always ensure your catalogue packs are in tip-top condition. Replace the bags as soon as they start to look tutty, as it's your shop window. Nigel Lalong turns over between 50 and 60 grand a year. So he does know what he's talking about. Top retailer for the last, I don't know how many years running. I really don't. I know there's a few people after him, but they haven't caught him yet. Number 3 is be really say you're going to deliver the orders to your customers promptly. Don't keep them waiting 2 or 3 weeks for delivery, because if you do, then you're ready to drop a book in about a week later. So the chances are they might not order again then, because you've been too long delivering the first one. Okay? Be regular, persistent and consistent with your retailing. To deliver orders, probably be the first time you meet your customer, so look smart and be polite. Okay? As you build your customer base, you get to know your customers, and you do, you will know family, and you probably know too much information on people, but that's good with the territory. And his last one is keep good records of where you leave your catalogs. And this is what I was trying to say to you earlier. This is your Bible. This is something you've got to keep up to date, because if you don't, you'll still earn money, but you will earn less money than somebody that does. I can guarantee it. Absolutely 100% guarantee it. So take that little bit of time, put that little bit of effort in, extra effort, and see it pay off, because it will pay off. Because it is to do. Good all night. A little bit of bonus tip for free. Persistent and consistent. Don't let poor pickups, people, or other distributors, or the weather put you off from building your business. It will take time sometimes, but it's on there. Once you've built your customer base to the level you want, it will pay you for life. And that's so, so true. The retail business with this company will pay you for years and years to come. I'm living proof of that, and many people on this meeting tonight are. So that's me done, really. Retail business is very mechanical. It's a very simple system to follow. All you need to do is put the work in. We say this about everything in our business. It's very true. The money doesn't just fall off the trees. You've got to go out and work it. Backlog system. Work the business to the level that you need to. And then if you want to, get involved with the team building side, because the team building side is where you're going to find your longer term money, and it's a residual income. So you'll be earning money whether you're working or not. So anyway, I hope that helped. I think we're going to get it recorded. Hopefully, it's done it. So we'll get that posted out as soon as you can. And I just wish everybody luck. Use the FTG training for your induction trainings. Okay, yeah. So Andy's made a good point now. When you're doing these trainings, refer to the FTG training, because that's what I do all the time. That's what we do all the time. Follow that system. Okay, you can use Skype. If you haven't got Skype now, new people, use Skype for training people, because it is a very useful tool. So, right then, build the business to the level you want to, and follow some of those tips. I'm sure it's going to help. So, best of luck to you all, and we will catch up with you next Monday when we've got our next meeting. We will let you know as soon as we've got it on the site. Okay? So, thanks a lot. Bye for now.